Hi, my name is Mario Guerra. I'm a product manager at Microsoft on the Azure SDK team, and I want to talk about a command line tool we've built for interacting with Azure Service Bus. Azure Service Bus is a fully managed enterprise message broker that uses queues to support the ability to publish and subscribe to topics in a namespace. It provides reliable, asynchronous communication between microservices without requiring you to manage your own complex broker infrastructure. When building apps that interact with Azure Service Bus, it's common for a developer to be working on one side of the queue, either sending or receiving, but usually not both at the same time. In cases like this, it's useful to have a lightweight way to simulate the other side of the transaction by sending or receiving messages into and out of a service bus queue. Having a simple tool that can interact with the service bus as a producer or a consumer enhances the ability to test your code and can speed up the development process. We've built a command line tool for exactly this purpose. The Service Bus command line interface tool can be used to send, receive, or peek at messages in a named queue in Azure Service Bus. The tool takes the name of a queue as a command line argument. Let me show you an example. I've set up a Service Bus instance with a queue named Demo for testing purposes. I have some pre-formatted messages I'll be using for testing. My messages consist of a simple JSON file with a single key value pair naming a planet. Here I have planet Earth, I have planet Mars, and I have Europa. I know that's not quite a planet, but it'll do for this demo. I can use the Service Bus command line tool to interact with both sides of the queue. I can send messages into the queue, and I can peek at and receive messages in the queue. I have two windows open. In one, I'll use the Service Bus CLI to send some messages into the queue. I'll start with Earth. Then Mars, and finally Europa. In my other window, I can query the queue to see what it has. And here we can see that I have a total message count of 3, which matches the 3 messages that I just pushed in. I can peek at those messages, which will pull the information off the queue without actually deleting the messages. So now I can see I've got information for the 3 planets that I submitted to the queue. And I can also receive these messages off the queue, which will once again pull them off, but remove them from the queue. Now, I can query the queue again to confirm that the messages have been removed. And here you can see the total message count is now 0. So let's say I'm a developer building out a receiver that will take messages from this queue and process them. I have a sample receiver written in Go that is set up to listen for messages on the demo queue. The processing in this case is a simple text match and output to standard out based on the planet specified in the file. But you can consider this as a stand-in for more sophisticated message processing. Let's go back to the terminals. And I'm going to go ahead and start my receiver. So now the receiver is running and listening for messages. So I can once again use the Service Bus command line tool to feed messages into the queue. So I've sent my first message, and as you can see down here, it was received. Since we are on Earth, we're going to be driving. Now we'll try Mars. Once again, we launched it into the queue, and now the receiver has told us that since we're going to Mars, we'll be launching. And finally, Europa. So now the receiver has picked up that message, and we have no clue how we're getting to Europa, so we have an unknown travel method. So there you have it, a demonstration of the Service Bus command line tool. We like to think of this tool as a building block for more sophisticated use cases. If you wanted to write a script that interacts with Azure Service Bus, you could use this tool to receive messages and process them on the command line. You could also use this tool for development testing, like I just demonstrated, or you could use it for testing in your CI/CD pipeline. This concludes my presentation. I hope you find this tool useful. I look forward to getting your feedback. Thank you.